Hello, welcome to the art show at the gallery of the Weston Public Library. I'm Katherina Helmick, a member of the Friends of the Weston Public Library, and they are the ones that are sponsoring the show. With me today we have the current exhibiting artist, David Wesley Copplestone. He is from Wellesley, Massachusetts.
Another examples of what I'm doing lately, we were traveling in Europe, and this, I call it Orange Windows, was outside of Marseille. Actually, it was a day after a hurricane had blown through, or what was left of the hurricane after it came across the ocean. So it was a very nasty day. We were driving all over the Marseille area, and I saw this hillside. Gave me an opportunity, I felt, all the shapes and structures going up that hill to carry a painting to its fruition. So that gave me the structure for the painting, and then I took my colors. I don't think the windows were orange, but that suited me, so that's why I named it the Orange Windows.
The lines seem to be clearer now. You seem to be more distinct lines. Are you aware of that? Did you do that on purpose?
I think between the paintings I just was showing and this painting, these paintings, you'll notice a difference. My uncle is an artist. Actually, several of my uncle's second cousins are artists. And my uncle was down along the way and suggested I lighten my palette. Somewhere in my art schools, one of my professors had us always mix a little brown in our paints to give it a little tone. And I think my uncle was saying it's time to let that go. And I went to a more pure color, which was a good suggestion. A suggestion I appreciate.
It's very striking.
Yeah, but that was what it is. So I went to stronger, more pure colors, and it's more my personality, so it works for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The same clear organization.
Yeah.
Again.
The structure, the shapes going up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoy that.
And even the mountainside there.
Yes. This was when we were down by Provence, Aix, outside of Aix, in Provence. We came upon this site, and it struck a chord with me. It seemed like a painting I'd seen at the Boston Museum of Fine Arts so many times by Renoir. It was Crags, I forget the name of his painting, but it was Rocky Crags by Renoir. And this area, I'm not sure it was the same one as he painted, but I wanted to do make my attempt at the same scene, or what I thought was the same scene. It's similar to the valley that it comes into, but I used my bushes and trees to carry the shapes out, and I organized them a little more than they were in their natural surroundings, and enjoyed the play in the mountains with the light that was on the mountains. Very bright there, very bright light and clear, and it's to the point where I'd use just my pure blue line for its outlines. And I was struck by this cloud, actually, and titled the painting Cloud Passing, because I thought that kind of had a personality of its own up there. So.
It does pick up the colors of the Provence, however, very much so.
You recognize that?
Oh, yes.
It's such a beautiful place. No wonder the painters of that time, of our Impressionist era, like to go down there so much. On that same trip, we were in a little town, Cassis, just outside of Marseille, over the hillside. And I was struck by I titled this one Yesterday and Today, because I was struck by the difference in ages and the difference in time. The castle and above, I don't know how old it was, 500, 1,000 years, who knows. I'm not sure how old it was. And then the condo out front, it just struck me funny, but the structure of the scene, I wanted to paint it. And once again, I used the bushes, I think you'll see, to carry you around the painting, get you up to the castle. And I think I've formalized it quite a bit, actually. The bushes were not in that way at all. Just to tell you how I construct a painting. If I need a tree here, I'll put the tree in, obviously. we need that for balance. But I hope you like the contrast in the colors. I thought the play of these various reds was interesting, and the sky I kept fairly bold, and if you can see the brush strokes, you may not be able to, but I allowed the background to come through the blue that I was applying. When I paint these, I usually paint the underpainting when I'm setting up the structure of the painting and the drawing of the painting. After I've done the drawing of the painting, I'll usually paint the entire painting in its complement, in the complementary color. If it's red, I'll paint it in green. So under this would be green. So sometimes, as I'm talking about the sky here, I'll let the underpainting show through a little bit if it works. And I thought it did here. You'll see a little coming through. And over here, to tie in what I titled this show at the library, it was moments. Because really what I'm doing in my paintings, as I think about it, is I'm painting moments in all our lives, and using different people to illustrate those moments that we all experienced, that we've all had. Here's a couple planning, I titled this. So obviously they're mulling over something in their lives that they have to come up with a decision. And that's a moment all of us are familiar with. And I thought that qualifies as a good motif for a painting. And so that's really what I'm doing in all my paintings now. I realize this is a moment, the painting that I was talking about in Cassis. They're all just a moment in time, and I like to try to make a worthy painting of that moment so that we can all relate to it, enjoy it.
Like Europe too.
Yes, as a matter of fact, on another trip, my wife and I, we went through Italy. Wonderful trip, but I'll stick to my paintings, although the trip is very interesting and beautiful there. But on traveling through the countryside, so many places were, well, it reminded me of paintings I'd seen through my studies, through all my art books. And but once again, when I can see a structure that I can spend my time composing a painting of, I'll use it. And this is one of those. I love the way fields cut up the scene you're looking at. Is the same way they help to put together a painting. And here they do that here. Again, I bring out my greens, contrast them with the reds and the yellows. I use pretty much primary colors in this one. I wanted to try to see what the effects would be of doing that with the red, the yellow, and the blue primaries. And I enjoyed the effect that it had. I always enjoy the dark line to use it as a and an outline. A lot of times will just pops it out nicely. So, and I love this village here along the skyline.
Is this a special moment, David?
Yes, once again, moments in people's lives. And here again, I think the expression I've put on this man's face is something that I've created there to explain a moment that I thought that we've all experienced, I'm sure, as we get to our middle age or any other age, is the time passing and something getting away, innocence getting away. And the man, I made this painting with the idea of he's looking for something that he's lost that's gotten away. And I hope you can see that in his face. And I actually did a couple of brush strokes up here. I don't usually explain that. A little enjoy it like a dove flying away. And he's trying to hold on to something that he's lost. That's the moment.
David, this is so different from anything else you did. Did you do more of these, or was that just one time? Tell me even what it is.
Well, yes, I did many of these. As a matter of fact, it's hard to find the room to do them, those large paintings. So I did 6 or 7 large paintings in this free manner of painting. Actually, I filled up squirt bottles with paint and stood over this and painted it on the floor. And it was I was doing a lot of sailing at that time in the ocean, so that's what the scene was of this sailboat and the 3 sailors. And it was the energy and excitement, as I say in my brushstroke. I try to put that energy into the painting. Here, I think you'll see the energy. You just can't help it because of the way the method you're putting the paint onto the canvas. It makes you have a lot of energy when you're doing it because you have to do it quickly, and that's it. And so my teacher, Jason Berger, all his paintings he had a lot of the white background showing through, and so I was kind of doing something in his style, and yet my own, and in the modern ways other painters were doing it, and over the last century. So I wanted to try my hand at it. I did 6 or 7, as I say, large paintings. Did some street scenes and this sort of thing. But just the size of them, once I'd finished them, to store them, you know, I stopped. But I would say I'd probably do some more at some point.
Did you see the Pollock movie?
Yes, very good. Yes, he did this. He did the same way. This would be in his style. You saw in the movie he had them on the ground there. He was painting them. He did it with a brush, but I did it with tubes because I could get my colors out quickly, easily, and spontaneously. So it's a little like watercolors. You really have to know where you're putting that color at all times because there's no going back and moving it, changing it. So like watercolors, you have to be correct with your color when you place it down because you can't take it off. Okay. This is Arles Street Corner on another trip to France, in Van Gogh's area, Van Gogh's neck of the woods where he spent time. So I did this painting kind of, I envisioned he lived in a house on a corner, and I wasn't sure which was his. I don't think it was this one. I'm sure it's not this one, but I just responded to the street corner, the design of the building and the tree there, and the streets coming through. And again, I think you can see my brushstroke instilling some energy, which we need. And
well, I like the shadow over the house.
The shadow cast by the tree. Yeah, the shadows. I'm very fond of shadows. I get most of my color, you know, the blues and the purples and all the colors in the shadows are most interesting, or very interesting for me, and help out a lot. And
David, thank you so much for this gallery tour that you gave us.
My pleasure.
The background of all these paintings and the background of your artwork.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah.